What's up, guys? Back with another video, and this week we're going to be preparing the Audi S5 for the JHM test pipes or race pipes. So before we get started, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and smash that notification button, and we'll get started with the video. All right, so in order to prepare for the tune that you have to install in the car to run the test pipes, I'm going to be doing an oil change. To install the late model oil level sensor, you have to lose some oil, so might as well just change it out. So we're gonna run some errands real quick. We gotta go get some of the oil. I'm gonna be running the liquid moly 5W40, and then I'm gonna try to get some of the Ceratec and the engine flush. So we're gonna run over and see if we can grab that. You already know we gotta get the coffee, so that's probably gonna be the first trip because you know, Alex here.
He gets a coffee every time. He hates on me and he gets it every time. So
it's okay. Haters gonna hate. I'm gonna get the coffee. I'm still gonna hate.
Okay, I have people out there that will completely understand my need and my love for coffee.
Or addiction. Addiction.
I could be addicted to much worse things. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. But so yeah, basically we're gonna go run, get some coffee. Then we gotta run, grab the oil, and see if we can get the additives and all that stuff. Crush, washer, filter. So stay tuned, and we'll catch up with you when we get there. All right, guys. So Starbucks is now secured. Went ahead and got a little cold brew this time. Alex got her usual concoction.
So long.
But forgot to show you the actual oil sensor that we're going to be putting in there. So this is basically the new oil sensor, and it basically just gives you like a meter inside of the car, so it shows you how much oil you actually have in the car, as well as it's just a better oil sensor. All right, guys. So just made it over to AutoZone. So we're going to run inside here and see if we can get an oil filter. Then we've got to make a few other pit stops, just because I want to use the liquid moly Ceratec and the engine flush. So we'll run in here, grab this oil filter, and then we'll head over there. So just got the oil filter from AutoZone. Just got a regular old STP one because it doesn't really matter. Then I got a little funnel, so now we just got to grab the oil and then the additives. All right, guys, so just arrived at Team 1, and these guys are coming in the clutch. So they've got the engine flush, and they've got the additive that we're going to put in the oil. So I'm going to run in here real quick, talk to these guys, and grab that stuff. So after this, all we have to do is grab the oil, and then we should be good to finally get the oil change going. So stay tuned. All right, guys, just got everything that we needed. So stopped by Audi, got a new crush washer and drain plug, got the oil, got all the additives, filter, everything. So I'll go ahead and show you everything once we get home. But right now we're gonna go ahead and get a bite to eat with some friends, and then we'll head home with a friend, and then we'll head home and get the oil change started. All right, guys. So just finished up the cheddars. Now we've got to go run and grab my car because it's actually not at my house. And then we've got to run home and get going on this oil change. I didn't even think about it, but so hopefully my floor jack will fit up under the car now, because I don't have a low profile one. So if it doesn't work, then we'll have to figure that out. But we're just gonna bank on it working. All right, guys. So finally made it back from the store and getting food and doing all that fun stuff. As you can see, we're losing daylight. I got a couple of extra lights to kind of help out getting the oil change and everything done. But I'll go ahead and show you what I got from the stores. First off, we've got the liquid moly, I don't really know how to say it, but the 5W40 motor oil. And this stuff's really good for German engines and all that kind of fun stuff. So I just know from doing research that that's probably the best oil to go with. I've got some engine flush here, same brand. So we're gonna put that in here in a couple of minutes. Let the car run. It says for about 10 minutes. So we'll just let it run for 10 minutes. Then we'll shut the car off and drain the oil out of there. So we got about 10 quarts total of the liquid moly motor oil there. It only takes about 9, so shouldn't need all of it. Got a funnel from the store as well. And then I've got the sensor that I showed you guys earlier. Went ahead and got another crush washer, and then a new drain plug as well. So that should be good to start off with those being new. Then we went ahead and got a new oil filter, just a regular old STP one, so that should do the trick. We got this 32mm socket, so that way we can get the oil filter off of there. I watched the video and I thought that I needed this, but I don't think I'm going to. So I think I just need like a 6mm hex socket or Allen wrench. So we'll use that, and then we should be good to go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this engine flush thrown in here. I'm gonna let the car run for 10 minutes so we can get on with the oil change. I'll kind of show you how everything works. It's super simple, but I'll give you a little rundown or whatever. All right, guys, so gonna go ahead and get the oil cap popped off here so we can get the the engine flush thrown in there. Okay, so on the bottle it actually says 1 can of the engine flush is good for about every 5 quarts of oil that your car holds, but I only have 1 can, so that should do fine anyway. It doesn't really it's not gonna make too big of a difference. So we're gonna go ahead and get that thrown in here, and we'll let it run for about 10 minutes, and then go ahead and hop up under the car, get it jacked up, and then get the oil drained out of it and throw that new oil in there. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get the engine flush port in there. All right, so now we'll go ahead and get the engine started and let it run for about 10 minutes, and then we'll get the car jacked up and drain all the oil out of there. All right, guys, so I've got the car started up right now. So we started it up at 9:27, so at 9:37 we'll go ahead and turn the car off and get the oil drained out of there. But for now, I guess we just gotta wait. Got a shake inside waiting for me, so I'll go enjoy that, and I'll catch up with you guys once it's finished. It's now been about 10 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and get the car jacked up. All right, guys, so now the car's jacked up. Got to get under here. I know we need a flathead to get off the scrape guard or the splash guard. And then other than that, I think we just got to take off the oil drain plug, which takes like an Allen wrench or like a 6mm Allen, something like that. And then we just got to take that sensor off, which I think is a couple of little hex nuts. So we'll go ahead and get under here, get the splash guard taken off. All right, guys, so up underneath the car, there's going to be, I think I counted 6 little, you can use a flathead or a Phillips to get these out, but they're little screws holding on the splash guard. So you got one over here, one way over here to the side, and then there's 2 more in those same places on either side. And then up underneath the car, you've got one over here, one right here, and then another one right there. So we'll go ahead and start getting those undone. All right, so once you get off the cover, you've got the oil drain plug right here, and then you've got the sensor which we're going to be replacing right here. So we'll go ahead and get the bucket for the oil, and then we'll go ahead and get that drain plug undone. All right, guys, so after getting the splash guard off of there, this is what we're looking at. So this is going to be the sensor that we're replacing to basically upgrade to the newer one. That way we can have the in-car visual, I don't even know what to call that, like the actual meter of how much oil is in the car. And then over here we've got the oil drain plug. So we'll go ahead and get this undone. We've got a little bucket here to catch all of the oil. So beware, we did just start the car and everything, so the oil will be pretty hot, but as long as you don't get that much on you, you should be good. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I said it before, but this is a 6mm Allen key. So that should be the perfect size for the stock oil drain plug. There we go. So got the oil drain plug undone there, and we've got the oil drain into the bucket. So whenever that finishes draining, then we'll go ahead and continue with the oil change here. All right, so the nuts on the oil sensor are just 10mm nuts. So just get you a 10mm socket, you should be able to get that off with no problem. All right, so got all those broken free. Now we're gonna try to get this clip off of here. All right, so you can use a flathead to get between the clip here. You just kind of lift up on it and it should release. And then boom, kind of pops off like that. And we'll go ahead and finish getting these 10mm nuts taken off of here so we can get that new sensor in here. All right, so I believe you just gotta pull it out of there. Since all the screws and stuff are off of it. But of course, it being hot temperature and stuff like that all the time, I'm sure it's probably on there pretty good. Oof, that bad boy is hot. So basically with all the oil drained out of there, you shouldn't spill any. This is what the old sensor looks like. I guess it just literally tells you if there's oil or whatever when it gets past a certain point, but the new one looks like it has a few more things on it. So not sure the technical stuff, but I know it can measure how much is in there, and it gives you a little meter and everything once you activate it through the MMI system. So we'll grab that new one and get it put in there and get everything buttoned back up. All right, so to give you kind of a visual comparison, this is the old sensor. They're similar in shape and everything, but this one's got some extra stuff on top there. So they look like they should, or it looks like the new one should button up exactly the same as the old one, so we shouldn't have any issues there. And I'll link everything in the description of where I got it from. But yeah, it's just off of JH Motorsports, and you kind of need it for their tune. Once you get the race pipes and everything on there and you tune it, you have to have this. So just knocking out those small little things you got to do to get prepared for the tune and everything. So go ahead and put this one back up in there. Make sure all the holes are lined up. Make sure that's pushed up in there tight. Don't want any leaks or anything. We'll plug this back up just to make sure it fits correctly. All right, then we'll go ahead and get this tightened back up so that way we can put the oil drain plug back up in there. Oop, almost tripped on my camera. But we can get the oil drain plug put back in there and then fill it up with oil. We also got to go back up top and change the oil filter. But the main part of this install or oil change is done. So don't want to tighten the drain plug too tight. So we're just going to use the hand tool once again. But I went ahead and threaded the first couple threads with my hand. That way we don't cross thread anything. It's about as tight as we can get it. So, all right. So you don't want to over tighten that, but you don't want it too loose because you don't want that to pop out and all your oil go everywhere but in the engine. So just make sure to get that pretty snug and then clean up any residual oil that's down here. Then we can go back up top and change out the filter and get some new oil dropped in there. And then we should be able to wrap this up here pretty soon. So stay tuned and we'll hop back up top and get that filter off of there. All right, guys. So now we're going to come up top. Need to just remove the plastic cover so we can access the oil filter. Right here is the oil filter. So we'll need a 32 millimeter socket so we can get that off of there. When you pull this up, it's probably gonna leak a little bit, so I'm just gonna use this little styrofoam thing that came with the oil sensor to make sure that it doesn't drip all over the place. It's supposed to come off together, but here's that. Oh, got the old one off of there. Oh, that's gonna start dripping all over the place, so we're gonna get this out of here. All right, so got a little bit more oil. We'll get it put around here. All right, so the oil filter on this car is supposed to be torqued to 20 pound-feet. So we'll go ahead and get it torqued down here. All right, so it's down to 20 pound-feet. So should be on there pretty snug. So we've changed the oil sensor, retightened the oil drain plug. So now we just gotta get some oil down in the engine and make sure we aren't getting any leaks or anything. So we'll go ahead and get this popped off here. Maybe. And we'll get that funnel and start getting some oil put in here. All right, so the Audi S5 holds about 9 liters of oil. So we're gonna go ahead and put this 5 in there. Then we'll put the additive, and then we'll put the other, probably a little bit less than 4 in there. So we'll go ahead and get this started. If you're also doing this, you probably wanna not do what I did and dump oil all down the side of the block. So I'll have to clean that up, but we'll go ahead and get the MOS2, the additive. It's basically Ceratec. It has a few different chemicals, so it doesn't last quite as long. But next oil change, I'll just throw the Ceratec in there and we should be good to go. But I just wanted to get this oil sensor on there, so just took what I could get for now. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and look under the car and make sure nothing's leaking. So if not, we'll go ahead and put the MOS2 oil additive in there. But if so, then we'll start tightening everything down again. All right, so now we've got the MOS2 or the Ceratec, so we're gonna go ahead and add that in here. It says use about 50 milliliters of this per 1 liter of oil, so this is about 9 liters, and this has about 300 milliliters, so that would be enough for about 6 liters, but should be all right. We'll go ahead and add this in here, and then we'll just fill the rest up with oil, so stuff is super thick. All right, so we'll let this finish draining into there. Then we'll add the other about 4 liters of fuel in here, so almost done here. All right, so went ahead and took out about 1 liter of oil, so we'll go ahead and throw the rest of this in here. It should be about 4 liters, and then we'll check again, make sure it's not leaking, and then we'll get her dropped down and get her started up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the oil cap back in, and we'll check the oil level here. Should probably lower it back down before we do that, but we'll check it now anyway, just in case. Looks like it's right at the max line, so should be solid. Cap is back on, oil filter's back on, tighten down. Check the oil, looks like it's good. We'll check it again once the car is flat on the ground. All right, so we'll go ahead and grab the splash guard, hop under the car, and then we'll get that button back up, and then we'll get the car started up. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and lower the car down, check the oil again, and then start her up and make sure we don't have any issues or anything like that. So I'll go ahead and get the jack and get her on the ground. Car is now flat on the ground. Gonna go ahead and check the oil one more time. All right, looks like we're right around the max line, so should be good there. All right, so now we've got to turn her over and let her run and make sure everything's good. All right, guys, so gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. All right, so got the new oil sensor on there. Next, we just gotta get some new spark plugs and new coils, and then we should be just about good to get the test pipe or race pipes, whatever you wanna call them, installed and then get it tuned. So either tomorrow or in the next video, I'll go ahead and show you how to program the new oil sensor. That way you can like access the full features of it inside of the car. That being said, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and smash that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one.